Hello everybody, Flik here, and welcome to my 2000th upload. It's technically not my 2000th video because I was ill at the start of the week, so the time I was meaning to record this, had to put it off, so it's like my 2004th at this point. Let's not get pedantic about that. Hello, I promised I would record this with my webcam, although I am still recording it with the audio with my normal Blue Nessie. However, I'm a bit further away from it because if I was as close to it as I normally am, my face would be like this and you wouldn't see a damn thing. So yes, I promised to do it with a webcam if I met enough milestones on Patreon to get the Monster Hunter 4 playthrough assured. And it is assured because this morning I ordered the hardware I need that is paid for by your support, so thank you very much. And what we're going to do here is I'm going to go through the comment section of a short video I posted. I have the comments on my other monitor to my side here. I'm just going to answer anything. You asked me a bunch of stuff. I haven't actually read any of the comments in advance, so I'll have to parse them in my head first, just in case there's any dodgy ones. But for the most part, my subscribers are good people, so I assume that they're all fine. Maya is next to me, actually, but I can't point the camera down. She's in her bed just to my side down there. She may bark because there's folk outside, but, well, you'll hear it if she barks. I might be a bit quieter, but as I say, it's because the mic's a bit further away than usual. Also, I'm focused on looking at the preview window, which I do have at the top of my monitor in front of me, because I want to know that it looks fine. But really I should be looking up here so that I'm actually looking at you. Hello. Oh, where's my hand? There's my hand. Hello. So yes, I have the comments here and I'm going to go through them. By the way, if you're curious what's in the background, oh, I have to point this way. That's my shelves with all my collectibles, Transformers, anime on that kind of shelf, some 40k miniatures below here. That's more 40k stuff. That's where all my monitors, my models are. That is a bookshelf filled with magazines, White Dwarfs and books, and then there's also imitation katana on the wall above a Star Trek Online poster. That's what game that was, I forgot. Also, that's autofocusing, isn't it? I thought I turned that off. Let me just test something. Oh, you get to see my favourite t-shirt. It's not happening now. Also, there's a window right behind me, so the lighting is awkward. I can't do anything about that. So that's why I'm kind of trying to position myself so that I'm deliberately in the way of the window so that the lighting isn't off. But anyway, let's get started. By the way, I'm not sure if I'm going to do this all in one sitting because I don't know how many questions there are. I know that one person at least asked like 15 questions, so this might take me a while. I might have to do a break because my sister's dog is here as well. I'm dog sitting today, so I might just have to go do this. So I'll edit it all together, but there might be cuts, and that's the reason why. So, I have the window open, and let's get started. The very first person to ask a question, I've organised this by date posted, was Dragonakis. Did you ever see yourself hitting this milestone? No. Not 2000 videos, no. How many video series did it take to decide this is how you want to make a living? It was more an earnings thing. And the fact that I hated the job I had. I was looking for a way out, but I couldn't leave the job I had because I didn't want to go on the dole. If you don't know what that means the government pays you while you look for a job. I don't like taking handouts, which is also why I struggled to do Patreon, to be honest. But I was in a job I hated. I hated what I was selling because it was something I didn't believe in. So I was looking for a way out. And then I finally decided to monetize my YouTube because for a long time I took the stance that no, I'll never monetize. I'll never put adverts on my videos because I don't believe in it as a means of income. And it was the chance to have a way out. So I thought, alright, fine, I'll give it a go. I got approached by Curse, which is one of the multi-channel networks. I asked a friend of mine, have you heard of them? And they had, because they're quite big in the MMO space. So I thought, fine, I'll give them a go. I'll try it. And then I was earning much more money doing YouTube than I was a job I hated. If I didn't hate the job, I think I said this in a Let's Chat recently, the smart thing to do would have been do YouTube, monetize it, but also keep the job, because then you're secured in two different places. You're not putting all your eggs in one basket. I chose to do the bad thing of putting all my eggs in one basket because I hated the job. And I just got messaged on Steam. I forgot to turn it off. Hello, Nanosphere5. I'm going to have to very quickly say, hiya, sorry, but I'm recording on my webcam right now. Oh god, that sounds like I'm doing a porno or something. I'll get back to you later. And then I will work out how to go onto Steam, how to go away on Steam. I hate doing it because it isn't as obvious when you've done it. But anyway, there we go. I think it still makes a noise even if you're in a way. But anyway, you asked a second part, didn't you? Or how many video series? Well, it wasn't to do with video series at all. I had tons by then. It helps that two I was doing at the time really took off. The Raging Blast 2 and Ninja Storm 2. They had really taken off, and that's what furthered my growth mostly. Next, Nestor Sanchez. Do you think you'll beat the Elatrion when you encounter it in Monster Hunter 3U? I don't know. I don't know what it is. I'm stuck on Elatrion in the port and Mark of the Hero in the village. I think that's one of the event quests, like one of the DLC quests. And if you don't know, the DLC for Monster Hunter 3 is all free. It's all just a bunch of events quests. So if he's there, I don't know. Am I strong enough to take him on now? I'll need to ask the people I usually play with. Do you think you'll beat it when I first get... Well, if there's a solo version, probably not, if he's as tough as you're making it out to sound. I've never heard of Mark of the Hero either. I don't have access to that quest, so there must still be offline stuff that I've not done yet. Oh, Dragonakis, you did another question. Will you be making more videos of Maya the Wonder Dog? If she opts to jump on the bed behind me, then you'll see her. But if not, then no. I threw some toys on the bed to try and get her to do it, but she isn't the kind of dog where she likes getting picked up or anything like that. So I do have some videos on my phone and whatnot. She's actually a bit ill at the moment. She's got a permanent head tilt and she's on medicine from the vet to see if it's an inner ear infection. If it's not, it could be something more serious. If it is, we'll just need to deal with that when the time comes. Can you buy yourself an ice cream from the ice cream van and video yourself eating it? No, I'm not going to video myself eating something. I might have to take a drink from something, as depending on how long this goes on. But no, but on that subject, you'll probably hear the ice cream van in the next 15 minutes. If I'm still going in one cut by then, you'll hear the ice cream van. It's going to be outside. Like a John, do you watch hentais? Isn't the plural of hentai just hentai? For anyone who don't know, that is adult-rated porn, Japanese cartoon porn. And no, I do not. Have I seen hentai? Yes. Would I recommend it? No. What was the worst Deus Ex Machina you have ever seen? Oh, the worst ever. I'm not sure. I can't think on the spot of a really bad one that's sticking out. Maybe something recent? Well, I'm playing through Persona 4 on my Vita right now, and it's got a lot of Deus Ex Machina in it. Like, you just happen to be in the right place at the right time, or the wrong place at the wrong time, as the case may be. But I wouldn't say that's, like, the worst ever. So I can't... I'll need to get back to that. I'll think about it, because if I do a cut, I'll stop and have a think and see if I can come up with a better answer. What is your favourite film? My favourite film ever is The Nightmare Before Christmas, as you can probably guess, because I'm wearing Skeleton Jack on my shirt. I also like Hard Boiled, one of the early John Woo films starring Chow Yun-fat. Terminator 2, I like a lot. It's one of the few instances where a sequel is better than the original. But my favourite, I would say, is Nightmare Before Christmas. I like Tim Burton's early films. I like stop motion. I like that it's Halloween themed. Why do we exist is your next question. We exist to make each other feel worse. That's why we exist. Do you ever have a day where nothing you wanted to do worked out? Well, don't you mean like a day where everything you wanted to do didn't work out? Is that the better way to say that? I'm not sure. Have I had a crappy day is what you're asking. Yes. Everybody's had crappy days. You can't avoid them. You just have to go with the flow. Right, so Brandon Daigle, you're next, and you're the guy who asked like 15 billion questions, right? Yeah, you are. There's 20 questions. Well, actually, that's kind of fitting. I will go through them. I may have to take a break after just getting through yours. But, yeah, I'll do it. So, since you said anything, I'll ask everything. Also, it probably means I'm going to have to be looking at this monitor constantly because he's got big walls of text here. So, apologies if I'm not looking at the camera, but I'm not really used to doing webcam stuff, so I'm not really used to this integration where I have to, stare at the camera peering into my soul. So, let's read on. What do you normally eat for breakfast? I normally have a cup of tea and a yogurt. I'm not very much of a breakfast person. If I do have to have something, I'll have like breakfast biscuits. I don't need to name the brand because I don't want to make it sound like I'm shilling, but there's a brand of breakfast biscuit that I like eating, or just have a yogurt. Oh, lunch and dinner. I don't really have any kind of set lunch or dinner, just breakfast. Have you heard of the game Cyberpunk 2077 made by the team from The Witcher? What, as in Crytek? No, wait, who's it that makes The Witcher? It's not Crytek, it's the Finnish people. Well, either way, no, I haven't heard of Cyberpunk 2077. Have you seen the stupid swatting thing that trolls do? Yes, where one streamer named Kotra had a SWAT team break into their office during a stream. Yes, and had all the school shut down as well because of a troll calling in a false alarm. Yeah, it's a big thing in America. We don't have, well, we do have armed police in the UK, but you couldn't really do the equivalent of swatting here. You could technically do it in the sense that someone from here could do it to someone in America, but you can't really do the same thing the other way around because armed police is very rare here, as are acts of terrorism and, you know, anything involving gun crime for the most part, especially in rural areas and whatnot. So I'm not worried about that kind of thing. It's pathetic that it happens though. And someone is going to get killed doing it. If they haven't done yet, they will definitely do soon if it carries on. And unfortunately, the more exposure it gets, the more likely it is to keep on happening, because people who didn't have any idea of what that kind of trolling is will be, oh, so you can do that, can you? And there's absolutely no consequences. Okay. It's crap, and hopefully someone will get in a lot of trouble before someone will die, and then everyone will see what happens to them when they're punished and won't do it again. Although, knowing children the way they are, I don't think we're ever going to be truly rid of it. Thankfully, if it frequently happens to people, I know that the police then kind of liaison with them to make sure that they don't just, you know, stomp into their house every week with guns. Show more button. Do you enjoy the part of Scotland you're in? Yes, I do. I like living rurally, apart from the lack of good internet. I don't like busy cities, so I like living in the middle of nowhere with good scenery. And I'm going to burp. Oh no. Oh, I stifled it. Oh, there we go. It's gone. Sorry. Right, that was 4 out of 20 questions already, so that's pretty good. Are there any small businesses or stores in your area that are interesting or you really like? I mean, there's plenty of businesses. My family runs their own business, actually. There's plenty of little stores. I think in the American sense, they're called mom and pop stores in that they're not like chains. There is some chains as well. I wouldn't say there's any I particularly like, although recently the supermarket I go to for weekly shops started doing Krispy Kreme donuts, which I think is an American brand. They are... Oh, actually, I just accidentally answered a later question of yours. I just read over it. We'll get to that in a second then. Number 6, what are your most anticipated games of 2015? Witcher 3. I'm still trying to finish Witcher 2 at the moment. What else? I was going to say Assassin's Creed Unity because of the co-op aspect, although I'm not sure if that's actually out before Christmas. But either way, they lost me at pre-order now to get pants that increase your speed. As for any other things, I'm not sure. I try not to look forward to things too much because I don't want to get caught up in the hype. Not just because for the sake of me being disappointed, but then I don't want people accusing me of being caught up in the hype. So I try and ignore things until I either get offered them or they're really close to release, because then I can judge them on their own merits without worrying that I've been, you know, caught up in the hype. I managed to do that with Watch Dogs, so it's not as hard as you might think. The game you're most hyped for? Oh, I've kind of accidentally answered this as well. Even that may or may not have been announced. Well, Disgaea 5 just got announced at Tokyo Game Show, so I am very interested in that. I love those games, although the most recent one, Disgaea D2, was pretty bad. Disgaea 4, though, which is just out on Vita, is very, very good. It's the one I've most enjoyed since 3. 3 was good as well. I didn't like 2, I liked 1. Although 2 is more playable than 1. 1 is very dated at this point. And the 8th question, do you like donuts? What kind brand? Just accidentally answered that. Krispy Kremes. I like their strawberry and cream, although they spell everything with a K, and I think that's chancing it, because one of these days they're going to think up a triple K name, and that's just not going to end well for anybody. Question number 9. Are there any old games that you have thought about uploading a playthrough of? Yes, Suikoden 2. I wish that it would come on PSN, because I would more than happily play through that again, even though it's been years since I played it. Final Fantasy Tactics, I would quite like as well, although that's not a game you can easily talk over, because it's just a lot of fighting. I actually find it a little bit hard to find things to talk about while playing Space Marine, although, well, I could technically go on forever about 40k stuff, because I mean I've got shelves full of the... Oh, God damn it. I'm looking at the preview and thinking I have to point on that side, but no, it's on that side. I've got literally crates full of 40k stuff. I can talk about that forever. But I worry that the people who don't actually collect the miniatures will not have a clue what I'm talking about. Also, there's a lot of people outside now, so yeah, Maya might make a noise soon. Or the ice cream van might show up, one of the two. Question number 10, from Brandon Daigle still. Favourite food? I'm not sure. I don't think I have a favourite food. I like any burger made of Aberdeen Angus meat. I think it's very, very good quality meat from up north. Favourite game series ever would be Mega Man, probably. But like more recently, I'm not sure. I would have to look at... Oh, the Arkham games if you ignore Origins, because it wasn't done by Rocksteady. The Arkham games, the Batman games. Very good series. Highly recommend the first two. Favourite game genre? If I was, like, say 15 years ago, I would definitely have said JRPG, but I don't have the time for them as much now, so I can't really say them. Let's just say RPG, so it kind of covers Japanese ones and Western ones, like, of different types. Like, say, Persona 4 compared to Mass Effect. Let's put them both in the category of RPG, and then that's what I'll say. I don't mind playing shooters as well, as long as it's not military ones. That was question number 12. Okay, we're getting there. Question number 13. What is your favourite paradox? And can you make a good one? Someone going back in time to kill someone to stop the future, where they go back in time to kill someone to stop them going back in time to kill. That's my favourite paradox. Because it's a very common one. That was a Twitter message. Like, it's the Terminator thing. So if you go back in time to kill someone to stop a horrible future happening, the horrible future didn't happen, so therefore you didn't go back to stop them, therefore they didn't die, so the future happens, and so on and so on. I imagine Doctor Who is probably a good place to go to for paradoxes. Question 14. How has your life changed since you made YouTube videos? I enjoy life more because I'm not doing a job I despise. Is that Twitter again? I'm going to call someone out. Sorry for the light from the... Who am I going to call out? Hang on. Dragonakis! How dare you? What have you been doing? Let me test here. I almost accidentally played an MP3 because I listen to music when I walk the dog in the morning. Also, if you hear a noise, that's Maya scratching. Oh, they're talking about BT, because I found out today that this area might actually get a broadband upgrade if BT sees enough interest, as opposed to what they were doing before that's not going to happen until June 2016, which is let the Scottish Government pay for it. So yeah, it's big news today, and I'm trying to drum up interest in the local area via Facebook and whatnot to try and get as enough people as possible to register interest, because it might happen. Because I also found out something this morning that really bugged me. A town a mile and a half away have it. They've got fibre optic now. I thought it was just much bigger places, but the place I'm talking about is smaller than the village I'm in. It's bloody annoying, and it can't just be because they have a school there either, because so do we. Anyway, I'm getting distracted. Back to Brandon's questions. I answered the paradox one. Oh right, how's my life changed? So I definitely enjoy what I do. That's not to say it's not stress free. I get overly stressed about worrying about views and monetization, and you know, some person trying to screw over my channel tomorrow. If I lost my channel, my backlog of videos, I would lose everything, essentially. So it's changed in the sense that I am less stressed than if I had a proper normal job, and it's definitely better than the job I had, because I actually like doing this, and I don't like doing what I did before. Did I mess up the syntax there? I definitely did, but hopefully you still get what I mean. How else has it changed? It's bloody hard to explain what I do to people. I had to do that when I was going in for a new bank card recently, although the person I was talking to from my bank, they were actually quite into it. They were interested in how it all worked. Although I don't know if they were just like, humouring me because I was in talking about my account. I was only getting a new card, but technically I could have been wanting to, go somewhere else. But yeah, that's about the only other thing I can think of. What inspired you to make YouTube videos? I have always liked creating videos. I used to do it with a camcorder, like stop motion. That's probably why I like Nightmare Before Christmas. When I was younger, my mum got a camcorder and I used it to do stop motion with like Power Ranger figurines and stuff like that. So I got into making videos, and then when I got addicted to an MMO, Final Fantasy 11, some friends and I decided to do some here's how to do stuff in the game, and my friend would do a serious script like here's how you earn your Chocobo license in Final Fantasy 11, and here's the NPCs you talk to, blah blah blah, and then he'd give me the script and he said to me, make this funny. So then what I'd do is I'd edit it and put in jokes, and then he asked me to take part as like using my in-game character as well as one of the actors. And we made these videos, and they actually proved really popular, so we made more and more and more, and that kind of gave me the bug for wanting to create videos. So, but I wanted to branch out eventually. I went off on my own, did a few Final Fantasy 11 ones, kind of thought, yeah, okay, I still play Final Fantasy 11, but I'm kind of waning on the interest of it now, so what am I going to do? I want to make gaming videos. So I did. I just started doing random stuff, anything I was playing really. I didn't have any idea or any inclination that one day it would be what I do for a living. I just enjoyed doing it. So while I had a job, on the weekends or in the evenings I just record myself playing, and that's kind of how it started. Question number 16. Favorite manga or book? My favorite manga is Naruto. My favorite book, 1984 by Orwell, I would say. Close second, I can't remember the name of it. Salman Rushdie's Haroun in the Sea of Stories. No, I think I butchered the name. It's something very similar to that. I had to read it in uni, and I actually ended up quite liking it. It's nothing serious. It's not serious in 1984, but still. Question 17. Will you have enough time to answer all these? Yes. 18. Will your dog also get on camera time? She's quite happily sleeping in her bed by my door. As I say, if anything bugs her, she might bark and run off, or she'll bark and jump on my bed. And if she jumps on the bed, you'll see her. Also, if I... Oh, I hate this. There. I'm kind of putting my thumb there. That's a rabbit toy of hers, so she might decide to go get that to try and get me to throw it at some point. I have no control over whether that will be the case or not. Favourite restaurant? Don't really eat in restaurants, so don't really have one. This is my final question pending. No, you didn't put in the final question. I need closure. So there's no 20th question unless he's put it further up. Okay, well, we'll get to that. Ice cream van. Told you. So now you know that's around this time of the day when I do the bulk of my recording. I do some in the morning, then I take a break for lunch, and then I go in the afternoon, and that's what time it is right now. It's mid-afternoon at this point. While I'm uploading, I've got a big Dark Souls 2 video uploading right now. It won't be done until late tonight. Yeeha Dighali, I've butchered your name. I can only apologise if this is your real name. You've asked 4 questions, so I will start at your earliest one. Will you ever make a Warframe series? Please do. I don't like Warframe. I don't like what it's become now. I did a Let's Look At of the PS4 release in which I go into my details why, or the details why. But if you look back in my channel, I did actually do some videos of it when it first got onto Steam with my friends. So there is, excuse me, there is technically a Warframe series. It's not very long. If CR and Good Warrior keep badgering me about it, I might join them, but I don't like how monetized it's become. I know it's always been free to play with a monetization model, but I think they've changed it in such a way to try and force you to buy lots of things rather than just, schmooze you, gently encourage you to do so. What thing do you most regret doing in life? Not leaving the job I hated, although it wouldn't be the smart thing to do, but the job I hated was soul crushing and destroying me because I hated what I was selling, so I regret not looking for a job while working there and just moving on. But at the same time, if I'd done that, I might not have fallen into doing YouTube, so, swings and roundabouts. Can't think of anything else offhand. Not recently, anyway. Then you asked, will you do a Destiny Let's Play? Perhaps. I'm going to play some of it first to make sure I like it and it doesn't get boring quickly. I might do a Let's Look At of the full thing, because I did one of the beta, but I might do like a proper review if I play enough of it. And it's out in a few days from when you'll see this, probably. Or maybe 4 days or so. And then you finally asked, what games are you planning to get in 2015? I can't honestly answer that because it just depends on whether I get given review copies or whether it's something I actually want to buy. So I can't really... Monster Hunter 4 is actually something I should have mentioned earlier. For a game I'm looking forward to a lot for 2015. A lot. And now I can do a series on it, so I'm really grateful for that. And once my capture card 3DS arrives, I'll do a video showing it off, etc. Oh, you actually asked a bunch more questions. You should have just done it all in one like Brandon did. So we're going to take a break from Yea's questions to do one from Carpo Gatora, and then I'll go back to yours because you've asked them above. So, okay, so this is Gurple. If you don't mind me asking, Flik, where do you see your channel in the future, the next 2 to 5 years? Well, I hope that YouTube is still a thing in 5 years. That'd be great. Some of the YouTubers I watch use YouTube as a full-time job, so do I, and are able to due to their large viewer base. I'm on the very cusp of that being viable, which is why I use Patreon. I really enjoy your content, but I wonder if perhaps personal life may interfere with your channel, like getting a family and stuff. No more or less than any job. In fact, slightly less because I'm working from home, as opposed to having to travel into an office. Unless YouTube is your full-time... so you didn't realise. Yes, I currently try and do this as my full-time career, but I'm very borderline on it where it's a viable financial option. Also, one last quick question. I plan to visit Ilindonnell Castle in the end of the year, as I live down in South England. Any chance you've visited any castles, highlands, places in Scotland that you might recommend seeing if you have? Yes. Let me see here. Edinburgh Castle, Stirling Castle. Those are good. Wallace's Monument is good because you can see his claymore. It's bloody gigantic. So that sounds lewd, but you know what I mean. His actual sword is bloody impressive. You can't touch it though. I'm just making this sound worse now. So yeah, I recommend those if you're in that area. Edinburgh Castle is a bit more touristy, I would say. So now back to Ya's questions. What are your thoughts about Tom Clancy's The Division? I think it looks really good. I'm very curious what it's going to be like when it's actually released. However, I'm very cautious because it's a Ubisoft game. Do you have a next-gen console? If not, are you planning to get one? Yes, I have a PS4. That's where I'll be playing Destiny on. So if you are also playing Destiny on the PS4, let me know, because none of my friends have one, so I'll be looking for folk to play with. I have no intention of getting an Xbox, by the way. Absolutely none whatsoever. That's why I got rid of my 360 and most of my 360 game collection, because I'm never playing them again. What would you name yourself if you had the chance to change your own name? I technically have changed my own name. My surname. I'm not going to say what it was before, but you can obviously see via Twitter and whatnot. My surname is Dawson now. I chose to do that. I did that by deed poll. But I'm happy with my first name. I like that it's got a bit of a heritage. If you aren't aware, this is a bit of a weird story, but I'm going to go into it. Why I'm called Ian. I was originally going to be called Fraser, after my grandfather. But that would get confusing, people thought. So then they thought, call me John, after his middle name. But my uncle is named John. So what they opted for, and why it's Ian, is because Ian is the Scottish slang for John. And don't ask me why, because I don't know. But that in itself is quite confusing, because my grandmother, when she talks to my grandfather, calls him Ian, because she calls him by the nickname of his middle name. I don't know why, it's just how things are. So they tried to avoid confusion by calling me Ian, but now if my grandfather and me are in the same room and someone says Ian, we'll both look. But that's the story behind my name, and no, I wouldn't change it. I like my name. Also, I take I don't know if it's the common spelling or the uncommon spelling, if it's just 3 letters. Because I know there's I-A-I-N. But either way, yes, I like my name. Where are we? I lost my place. There we are. What are your top 3 games for 2014, even upcoming ones? I'm not going to answer that yet, because at the end of every year, I do a big video where I cover the top 5, or is it top 10? I can't remember now. No, it's top 5. It must be top 5. The 5 best things and the 5 worst things, in my opinion, that I've played through the year. So you'll see, round about the end of December is when I throw that out usually. Or if I'm doing too much stuff for Christmas, the start of January. What would you name... Oh wait, I missed a question. Hang on. What is the highest temperature you've ever had in your country? I've got no idea, but we would start to melt around about 30 degrees Celsius. What would you name a dragon? A good name for a dragon. Raziel. I like that name. That would do. Da Baddest Gaming asks, what is your favourite indie game currently on the Vita? I'm not actually 100% sure of how many games are on the Vita. I know for a fact that Spelunky is, so I would say that. Binding of Isaac Rebirth is going to be on the Vita, so I imagine once that's out, my answer would be that, because from what I've heard, it's super, super good, and I like the original. Looking forward to it massively. That's another game I could have mentioned for... Well, no, it's supposed to be out before 2015, so they're running out of time, but apparently it's coming soon. Graveskeeper Duelist. I'll keep my question I posted on the last video like... Wait. I think I'll keep my question I posted on the last video like this. You did. Do I need to copy and paste it here? Yes. Well, actually, if you ask the question in like the comments of a Let's Chat, don't worry about it. I'll answer it next time I record a Let's Chat. I think that's what you're asking me. So no, you don't need to answer it here. And obviously, if I was reading these comments in advance, I would have answered you then, but I forgot. So let's move on. I didn't get too many questions. I mean, I think the total is still around about 40 or 50 questions, but I'm getting through them a bit faster than I thought. So here we go. I might do this in one cut, after all. Paul Boner. Have you ever travelled abroad? Oh, you've asked lots of questions, so I'll go through them step by step. Have you ever travelled abroad? Yes, but not for a while. I went to Spain once when I was a child. I went to France numerous times, including Disneyland, Paris, or wherever it is. England. That's not technically abroad, but that's as far afield as I went. England, Spain, France. Never any further than that. Basically anywhere you can get to on a boat, because I don't fly. Do you do YouTube full time? Yes, I attempt to. Do you like Pixar movies? Was Toy Story a Pixar movie? If it was, then yeah, it's fine. I don't have anything against Toy Story 1. I didn't see any of the other ones. Do you like Studio Ghibli movies or Ghibli? I can't remember how you pronounce their studio name. I haven't actually seen any of them. Please don't hit me. I've got a couple of friends who keep on saying you have to watch their films. I keep on meaning to get around to it. I haven't yet. Do you own a car? Nope, I do not drive. Family busks me around or I take buses. Movie marathon with friends. What movies do you suggest? Terminator 2, Hard Boiled, Jet Li's The One. If you're into really, really old films that are very, very funny, there's a spoof movie called Murder by Death that has a massive all-star cast like Alec Guinness and Peter Falk, etc., and Peter Sellers. Really, really funny. Stands the test of time, although many of the jokes would never be allowed today because they're very, very offensive in a kind of racially stereotypical way. Still a very funny, very clever, very witty movie. And you can get it on DVD, I know for a fact, because I have it on DVD. Anything else? I could look up here and try and... No, I can't think of anything else. I was going to suggest some anime ones, but I don't think you're asking for anime ones. So it's mostly the other movies I have. Where are we? And do you want to build a snowman? No. Oh wait, that's a reference, isn't it? To Frozen? Question mark. Is that a Pixar movie? I've never seen it. DRC97. What is your favourite cereal? I like any kind of like hazelnut granola. What is the best anime or manga you've read or watched? The best anime I've ever watched is Death Note, for sure. The best manga... Naruto, I would say. Or, yeah, just Naruto. I haven't read that many mangas recently. Have you heard of 3 Days Grace, Shinedown, Volbeat, or Pop Evil? I have heard of 3 Days Grace, but none of the other ones. I assume they're all similar music. Dallin. What were your life's plans before becoming a YouTube gamer? And will we get any more Maya videos? Keep up the good work. Well, thank you for that. I do have some videos, as I was saying at the start, so I've kind of answered that already. What were my life plans before being a YouTube gamer? Have a boring day-to-day retail job that I didn't like and just, you know, live on that, be a wage slave, as they say, living from one paycheck to the other. When I was a bit younger, this is probably the weirdest job I've ever had. You would think making videos for YouTube is the weirdest. No. I got by as a freelance writer when I was a bit younger, writing unofficial game guides for a website, which then paid me a contract to write the thing, and then I got royalties based on the sales. So that actually got me by for 2 or 3 years when I was a bit younger, kind of late teens. So I'd say that's the weirdest job I ever had, and I would have loved to do that. I actually wanted to get very much into the journalistic side of gaming, although that's a bit of a joke right now, isn't it? But if like the YouTube thing ever fell through, I would quite like to try and get back into the writing side. That's kind of why I've been writing stuff on the website that Dragonak has helped me get, fliksgamingstuff.com. But no, I wouldn't call myself a journalist, but my life plans would have been aiming to try and get into the gaming journalistic side, or the gaming blogging side, whatever you want to call it. Writing about games. And that might make Maya bark. There's a very loud car outside. She doesn't care. Good. So moving on, John Smith. What would be your weapon of choice? That's an easy one. My weapon of choice is a scythe, and not enough games do scythe combat well, Dark Souls 2 included. Bloodborne looks like it might do it well, so I'm looking forward to that. I think one of the Devil May Cry games did scythe combat well as well. I said as well twice. Third one, I think it was the one with the scythe weapon. I can't remember. Either way, one of them did. So yeah, that's an easy one. Second would be a bastard sword. Professor Frink42, do you praise the sun IRL after a rainy day? Every other day in Scotland, I'm guessing. It's more like 9 out of 10 days here, rain. So do I praise the sun? Yeah, sure I do. I stand over the window over there and just do that in the morning and scare people going past the window. Kensick, how many roads must a man walk down before you can call him a man? 7. No, Dad, it's a rhetorical question that people have been asking for the ages. I can't remember the rest of the quote. Actually, I think he says 2 and then the answer is 7. Either way, I assume that you're trying to do the Simpsons quotes from the one where Homer's mother comes back the first time, because I assume she's been brought back and done to death since then. Cination Ralph Gaming, can you do a live stream on Twitch playing GTA 5? That's incredibly specific. Can I do a live stream in general? No. At this point, full stop, no. My connection isn't good enough. But as I was saying at the start, the news today is the provider for this area is considering not waiting until 2016 for the Scottish Government to pay for it. If there's enough interest, they'll do it themselves, and they'll do it a hell of a lot quicker. They could do it within a year, and that would be amazing. And that would mean that I could live stream on Twitch. So that would be great. Would I play GTA 5 on it though? No. It's not the kind of game I would stream for a start, and also I didn't really like it. Well, that's not doing it a service. That's not really the way I meant to say either. I'm not saying I think GTA 5 is a bad game. I just, playing it through once was enough for me, and I don't feel the inclination to do it again. I didn't like the cast. Jahim Marcus, are you going to get Destiny? Yes, kind of covered that already, so I'll move on. In fact, by the time you hear this, I might already be playing it. I don't think so, though. Amy Spain. The world as you know it is ending, but you have a choice. You can choose to live as a character, but not the hero or a villain, in any game world environment. Which world do you choose? So I have to pick a gaming world to live in, but I'm not allowed to be a hero or a villain. I just have to be like a generic NPC. So which world would I choose to live in? I think my life expectancy would be pretty short, but I'd probably pick Borderlands just because it'd be quite funny. I'm not allowed to be the main hero, but I could technically be a sidekick then, couldn't I? So you want like the happiest one, I don't know, something funny, adorable, something that's peaceful. I was tempted to say zombie apocalypse, but no. Ultimate Kira 2, tacos or pizza? Pizza. Although I do a good salad taco, for the record. I posted a picture of it once on Twitter. Long Truong, can you do more gameplay of Macro, and is Macro your favourite character from Transformers Universe? The answer to both will be yes, I think. Although the Transformers Universe videos don't do very well. Well, they do okay. Although I noticed that that's because the official channel actually links some of them in a playlist. So yeah, I am probably still going to do it, although I think my subscribers don't really like seeing me play it, so... Although saying that as well, XCOM is technically getting less, so if I was to get rid of a series, it should technically be XCOM based on numbers, but XCOM is also already getting towards the end, so it's not going to be like a long lasting. It's not going to be Monster Hunter lengths for sure. So, but to answer your question, yes, I'll play as Macro again, probably on camera, and currently, yes, he is my favourite character. Showdown is a very close second, though. George Espinoza, what is the must-have games for fans of the Soul series, and also how many games have you completed 100%? I can't answer the second question if you're going by like lifetime, because I did it a lot more when I was younger, completing games 100%. These days I don't really have the time. The most recent one I did was Binding of Isaac, finally getting Platinum God. It took me like 170 hours. So what are your must-have games for fans of the Soul series? Well, I'm assuming then that you've played Dark Souls, Dark Souls 2 and Demon Souls, so it's games like those. I would agree with people who say that the Monster Hunter games are very similar to the Dark Souls games, so I would suggest Monster Hunter 3 if you have a 3DS or a Wii U, or if you don't want to have something that's dated, wait until early next year and get Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate. They're very similar in the sense that it's big spectacle fights against... I mean, the draw about the Souls games, other than the lore, is the bosses, is the big boss fights. Every hunt in Monster Hunter is a big boss fight. The repetition is more present in Monster Hunter games, so that's the thing you would have to get over. Alright, we're nearing the end here actually. How long have we been going here? 38 minutes in one sitting. Not bad. Lucas Chin. Tips on hunting the Brachydios, armor, weapon and strategies. I use the gun lance and the switch axe, and I'm currently using Rathian armor. Anything helps, thanks. Well, I would say watch me hunting one the very first time, although I was very sloppy in that because I was very, very cautious. Use water. If you're using gun lance, there's a very good Plesioth, I think, water gun lance you can use, and you can probably upgrade it as well, maybe. Either way, that's good because he's weak to water. I would say it's a good idea to just go for lots of defense, even with your food, or failing that, get Firewalker so that if you're fighting him on like the cusp of the lava, you don't take damage over time. Don't be afraid to attack him when he's raging, but at the same time, if you want to play super, super cautiously to get an easy win, bring dash juices so you have unlimited stamina, and just give him the runaround while he's raging. Eventually he'll calm down and then go annihilate him. Use the Shakalakas for distractions. If they're both gone, just run around again if you're worried about dying. That's about it as far as I can think. Other than that, just watch me or one of the Monster Hunter nights where we hunted them as well. You might get some tips there. Weird Musician. What musician? That's a hard word to say from my accent. What's your favourite animated series? I assume you're not meaning anime then, because you would have been specific and said anime. And also, what's your favourite movie and game? Well, favourite movie I've kind of covered. Favourite game is Xenogears. Suikoden 2 would be in my top 10 games ever. Arkham City would be in that list. Mega Man X. Super Mario 3. What else? Nothing else is coming to mind right now. But anyway, favourite animated series? I'm not really watching. I'm a bit old for animated series now, to be honest. So I'm not really watching any of them. Oh wait, no, of course I am. I could... Futurama. Futurama's an animated series. Yeah, so there you go. Futurama's my favourite animated series. I'll go for that. Extension. Please answer honestly. I shall certainly try. Do you enjoy doing YouTube, or are you just doing it to pay the bills? Are you thinking about quitting YouTube? No. Is basically the answer to that. No, I would never think of quitting. I would have to be forced out, or something catastrophic would have to happen, because I love doing this, and it doesn't feel like work when you love what you're doing. So no, I'm definitely not doing it to pay the bills, because I'm barely making enough to pay the bills. So if I was purely money driven, the smart thing to do, the logical thing to do, would be to get a so-called normal job, because the pay is more, and you're guaranteed. Well, you're not technically guaranteed, because you can still lose your job the next day. But you know what I mean. Doing this YouTube stuff isn't as secure as you might think, especially if you aren't to a really big size. So, and do I enjoy doing it? Yes. The only part I don't enjoy doing for the most part is thumbnail creation. That drives me mad, also because I'm not very good at it. And sometimes dealing with the childish side of the internet in comments can be tedious, because you kind of have to weigh it up, and you don't really want to provoke them, but at the same time you hate just letting them say something stupid and get away with it. So trying to manage your... It sounds awful to say it, but kind of to manage your brand, to have to put that front. Like when I didn't do YouTube for money, if someone pissed me off in the comments, I let them know about it, and you'll see that in older comments. Now I kind of try and avoid getting drawn into that. Maybe it's also a case of being older now as well. I've been doing this for a long time, 6 years. So maybe that's another reason why I do this. But now I just try and take a step back and ignore it, because the more, not just in my own experience, but the more I see other people deal with internet trolls, the more I realise it's just, there's no point. Don't bother. Just, one of the most annoying things you can do back to them is ignore it. It's hard to do, especially if they really push your buttons like some of them do for me. But that would be the side I don't enjoy about YouTube. The rest of it, I love it. I love being able to entertain people, educate people, show them games, talk about games. Ever since I was a kid, the first time I played an Atari Centipede, I think it was, I fell in love with gaming, and it's been that way for my entire life. I've never not had a gaming console of some kind that I'll play and enjoy. I love it. So I'm so lucky that I kind of fell into this. There was just so many things that fell into the right place at the right time that let me try this. Now technically I could still be doing this as a hobby. Let's say I stuck with that job I hated because I didn't think of monetizing, or even if I did but I did it by myself, this could still have been a hobby, and it still would have been something I would do. Even if I had a 9 to 5, 5-day-a-week job, I'd still do video creation on the weekends or sometimes in the evenings. I wouldn't be able to put out 2 videos a day, that's for damn sure. You'd be lucky to get a video a week. But I'd still do it because I enjoy doing it. And I guess that's the drive you need to have. Not if you do it for a hobby. If you do it for a hobby, just make a video whenever the hell you feel like it. But I have a drive to do this. So that's why I try and do my damnedest to make it possible. And hopefully that comes across. I hope. So I think I answered your question. I enjoy doing YouTube. I'm not just doing it for the money, because if I was, there's better ways to make money than the way I do it. That's for damn sure. I also would do more scummy things if it was more about money. I'd do like tits in my thumbnails. I'd do, provocative titles like, here's why you are wrong about Dark Souls 2 and you suck and I'm right. That kind of crap. People who clickbait in that style. I hate it. And no, I'm not thinking of quitting YouTube. I would have to be forced out of it, in terms of, say, something catastrophic happened to the channel, or if the money just wasn't there, that it would be financially viable for me to keep doing it. And as you can probably tell, I'm losing my voice from talking non-stop for almost 45 minutes. But we're on the final question. So this is from Ramio5. I think I've butchered that name as well, sorry. What does your family think about your YouTube career? And by family I mean kids, girlfriend, wife, mum, dad, etc. My sister watches my videos. Hello, if you're watching, Lynn. I'm looking after your dog right now. She's downstairs, keeping my dog relegated to my room. I think she likes them and is entertained. My mother knows what I do. I don't know. She watches my Let's Chats, I think. She's on Twitter now, which is weird. I don't think she watches my videos. I think she understands in the sense, well, I went for an interview. Well, it's not an interview. I went for a meeting with an accountant once, and it's an accountant my mum knows through the family business, so I had her come with me to do the introductions. And she kind of introduced me and tried to explain to the accountant what it was I did for a living, because I was curious about how to handle tax and stuff, so I wanted advice from a professional. And she kind of explained it like, he does videos on the internet telling people how to do things in games, and that's kind of true. I mean, I do occasionally do like, here's how to do something in a game video, but it's not entirely accurate. But I kind of just let it slip, like, or not let it slip, just let it go. Like, that's close enough. That's a close enough explanation. If someone who knows nothing about me asks, I just say, oh, I make content for YouTube, I'm a content creator, and that kind of does it. But as far as like my grandparents, I don't think they fully understand. My grandfather knows that I work like with the internet, but I don't think he's ever watched anything I do or anything like that. Same with like uncles or aunts. They know what I do, whether they fully understand it, honestly couldn't tell you. Whether they respect it, not sure. But as long as it pays the bills, right? So I guess that's the way to look at it. I think that's it. Maya, do you have any comment on my YouTube career? I think she's actually sleeping. So there we go. She has no comment, and I can't really... Well, I could technically lift the webcam off to show you. Shall I do that to finish, because I'm kind of done here? And thank you very much to those who put in questions. I hope you enjoyed listening to me ramble on for almost an hour at this point. So will I unhook the webcam to show you Maya, just to finish on? I assume a bunch of you are saying, yes, do it. So it's going to make it go out of focus like crazy, so don't say I didn't warn you. But I will say thank you very much for watching. And I will say ta-ta for now to your face, so you can see me say it. And now let me try and unhook this. Oh, okay. Alright, let's just... Oh, I don't think the wire's going to be long enough to see her. Oh, there's my base for anyone who wanted to know what my base looked like. Do you see her? You can kind of see her. There. Oh. I don't want to say her name because she'll look at me and I'll wake her up, and that's cruel. But, you know, there she is. She spent the whole 45 minutes just peacefully lying in bed, and I was very impressed because I expected her to bark at least once. So anyway, I'm going to go now. So thank you very much for watching. Once again, see you next time. Ta-ta for now.